All right, guys, here we go. Just a real quick video over a few of the altcoins that we posted on X yesterday, and we're going to follow up and see, if they hit our targets, what's going on, and kind of a checkup here. The first one is DIA, and on the run up that we posted for our Patreon members, it hit these measured moves here. The gray dash line, the red dash line, like absolutely perfectly. And then that was also our call for a pullback, okay? And then as we posted, we're coming to, which is true, a very critical location for price action on DIA here into the 20 and that green dash line. So let's do an update here. As you can see, yeah, we've come down into the 20, no surprise there. However, and it is a green candle. You do have a time count here. And I know I'm talking a different language, but our Patreon members know what all this means. But what we need today is for this candle to close up and over the previous red candle. And I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be that high. The reason why I drew it like that, because that's where we, had been trading. This was all green at one time, okay? And let me just give you a tip, all right? We teach our traders to not enter a play until they reach a certain level of expertise actually in order to anticipate a move. Okay, that's anticipation. What we want is more confirmation first, then getting in. And confirmation would be on the daily chart, for example, to wait close to the close of the daily, maybe the last, hour or two of the daily chart. Now, if you're working off a 4 hour chart, a 1 hour chart, of course, that's going to be a little bit different. You'd wait until, a few minutes before the close, what have you. So anyway, right now it's a no-go for us. We would want, this candle to fill out by the end of the day and completely overtake the red candle. Not that we can't get up and out of here to the upside and do a pivot like that Saturday, but it's lower odds, lower expectations, and we want that event candle to happen. Okay, so anyway, that's DIA. The next one is XCN, and it was a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, it's had some great runs, as you can see here, but it didn't meet our expectations. The last altcoin pump, talking about the total market, next price target, and it had better hold. Okay, this needs to hold this blue dash line down here. Let's see where we are today. And yeah, see, we wicked into it. And that wick is very bullish, very positive, actually. It doesn't give you necessarily permission to get in to the trade, but it has definitely been bought up just like this one here. Okay. Now, of course, we need the next piece of the puzzle, confirmation. You don't want to FOMO in, rush in. You want confirmation because everything's an odds and a probability game. And the more odds and probability you have on your side, then that increases your ability to get, more gains in a quicker time period. Okay, and then also, well, anyway, that's yeah. Let me go ahead and go to the next one. Okay, that one in this spark, and actually holding price pretty well. Do anyway. Considering the total market sell off, over the last number of days. Okay, so let's look at the chart. As you see, it's coming down. It's still holding this pivot. Uh, whenever price does a 180, also that's a pivot. Many times when price comes down back into it, it will hold that zone. Not always, not a guarantee, but something to look, for if you see your asset. Doesn't matter if it's a stock, crypto, everything trades the same. That's something you may not know, but the altcoin market and trading these alts is no different than trading Apple, Nvidia, Meta, you know, Microsoft, whatever. Same setups, same levels of, on the chart, looking at it, the formations, resistance and support, okay? But anyway, this is kind of a must-hold deal, the blue dash line. If not, we're going to be sucked down to the 20, okay? So let's go to the next one. Okay, here we are on ZBCN. Sometimes the total market cap, in other words, all the altcoins out there, Ethereum, so on and so forth, does not cooperate with price action, okay? Because I had called that if we closed over 0.005, we go to 0.007, the blue dash line. Of course, we have this big, total market sell off, and if you have the tsunamis coming in, the huge waves, the current of the market pulling you back. It's hard to push through that. And as you can see, let's go to the chart. ZBCN is, had a pullback yesterday. Now, this red candle here closed under the previous candle. Okay, obviously green candle. Plus, you're on a time count. So we have 60% odds that this is going to continue to the downside. Now we did pop green for a minute. So what's good about ZBCN right now, the holders, the people in there are not, waterfalling over to the downside. They're not mass selling. Okay. They're just, looks like maybe just a little bit of profit taking actually, which is fine because it's had a pretty nice ride. If you think about it, it came from back. See if I can get this. Really, it all started right here. Okay, the low to where it hit. I mean, what is that? 150%. But even, right now, the close of yesterday was over 100% from the low on this one. So yeah, it needs a pullback. It needs to be a little bit of rest there. But our anticipation is that the first pullback would go over here to this side. There's your first high pivot, which was previous resistance, because you rolled over previous resistance, roll over. See, so that could be the start of a little bump here, maybe a rotation to the upside, and then the next level, which I don't know, I feel more safe with this level here, because by that time, unless you completely, bleed out hard to the downside, you got the 20 coming up, you got all this consolidation zone here, high pivot over there. All of that was really tough, really hard resistance to get through. Now it should be a pretty good safety net coming down. Okay, so that's, you know, not financial advice. You can lose some of, or all of, or more than all of your money in this game. But just trying to, show people what we do, what we teach over on our Patreon site, so you can do this on your own. You don't have to take the word of someone on, on X or YouTube, or if the talking heads on CNBC are telling you, the market's crashing. And in fact, here's the S&P 500 right now, and it is pulling back. Matter of fact, we gapped down. We're under the 20. We're a little bit more, at this point in time during the day and the week, we're, more bearish than bullish. But if you go to the weekly chart, it's really not bad. Okay, S&P 500 right here, take everything off. We're holding up pretty good. And as price gets up and over the 20, okay, let me go to something that everybody knows about, and that's XRP. Everybody's heard of it. I'm not, picking on it positive or negatively or whatever. But when you're starting, let me go to the daily, okay? Let this pop on here. Now, what I do like here is that we're getting a bottoming tail, potential green candle, but we still have 7 hours to go before we close. We're not going to be jumping in here, okay? We'll confirmation of a close and see if we can, move from there. And there's a technique that we teach to that show that that's the next move up, if there is one, if it's a head fake or if it's a real move, pump, rally, whatever you want to call it, to the upside. Okay. But anyway, here we are, and you wanted the majority of time, the 20 here, as you see, there's not a whole lot of stuff in my chart. You don't need the more stuff that you have on a chart. Okay, if you pull up a chart of someone, they have like 5 million, it's like spaghetti on the chart, that shows from 1 to 10, 10 being an absolute horrible trader, they're at 10 plus, probably at 15. Okay. The more stuff you have, the less of a good day trader, especially, much less a swing trader, so on and so forth. Okay. Got to keep it clean, be able to see the price action. That's really the secret. And then if you know two or three, formations, event candles, setups, you're done. Okay. I mean, that's, yeah, it's like an ATM machine. Okay. So anyway, XRP here, a little bit, under the 20, but we can still consolidate or bounce from here. But what I'm getting at is, and I'll give you a freebie here. We teach our traders that once you start accelerating up and over the 20 and you start getting high over the 20, you're even right here. If I can draw a straight line. Anyway, so even in here, when you start getting that range, a big range above the 20, do not be entering trades up here. And we do have a secret for entering trades. There's always a caveat, but you got to be skilled. You got to know what you're doing. Okay. But anyway, as prices move on, this is where this range probably, honestly, probably in here is where before the big red candle is where majority of the retail traders are getting in. They finally have confidence in XRP. They're finally going, okay, I mean, is this a run? Is this a run? Is this a run? I don't know. Last time it ran up like that, it came back down and went lower. And I'm talking about all altcoins, okay? It could be everything. And so they're scared out. They don't know what a location is. They don't know what an event candle is. They certainly don't know how to set up their stop loss because once you make money, our motto is once you're in money, take home money. Okay. Don't go home without any money. All right. So once you're in profit, we show you how to stay in profit or keep that profit. Yeah, I can pull back and but we show you how to maintain that trading discipline. Okay. So anyway, most people are in up here. That's when you want to be taking profit. That's when our traders were going, okay, based on this setup here, we need to start, kind of scaling out is what we call it. Okay, taking some off the table there. Okay, but anyway, I could rant on this all day long. I love this stuff, and once, you know, well, starting out, it was a very horrible experience. I was just too dumb, too stubborn to quit. So just hang in there. You'll catch on, get under someone's wing that knows what they're doing, that does this for a living, that does this every day, and they can accelerate your success. Okay, what might take you 2, 3, 4 years to figure out, like myself, you can do in several weeks or months. Okay, depending on what you can put into it. Just like if you're practicing golf, you just took up golf, you're not going to go out there and compete with Tiger, okay? I think he has a few more swings under his belt than you do. He has a few more, putts under his belt than you do, okay? So it's going to take him a bit to start getting, a little bit of confidence and a little bit of experience. But we try and help people get that timeline shorter and move from there. But okay, guys, thanks very much for watching, and we will see you on the charts.